communication takes a little bit of time to set yourself up. You've been raised and you've already come into this class with the aspect of you have a background of being able to talk to people and communicate to people. But really, we need to pay attention to the 5 different steps of communication. There's actually a structure to it and something that we take for granted on a daily basis. First of all, we're becoming so interconnected. We're communicating more than ever, sometimes not really well. Sometimes I'll walk into a classroom setting and there's 5, 7, 8 people in the room already before class, and they're busy communicating, not to each other, but to somebody else on their cell phone. They're talking to this and everything else. The world's really shifted a lot to the point that we're out there communicating on social media and everything else. And sometimes we always spin the positive, or somebody else spins the positive. You think your life is peachy and wonderful and fabulous, and it really isn't, but they want to convey that, to convey the attitude of success. Sometimes the communication is disingenuous about the whole thing. We have email, text, instant messages, tweets, Slack, Zoom. I don't know about you. I have 4 or 5 different email addresses. I'm on 7 different types of social media. And by the way, I'm older. Don't tell anybody I'm 30 years old. Okay, but the reality it comes down to is that younger people are even more connected than that. The whole aspect of technology has made us so much more involved. We forget some of the simple elements we're going to talk about in here. These are the soft skills that employers like, and they might want to give you more money because of the fact you do really well because you pay attention to the soft skills. Not that money is ever a consideration, but you know what? If you're rich or poor, I've heard that being rich is so much better than being poor. That's what I've heard. But anyway, so here are the 5 steps. Number 1, you have an idea. Let's say it's you or somebody else doesn't want to talk to you. They have an idea. So their idea, they're going to go through and they want to sit down and encode a message. Here's the idea. I'm going to sit down there and say this. Now they're going to code the message based upon how they were raised, based upon the way they talk, the way they write, the way they text. That's how they're going to do it. So they're going to encode the message, and they're going to go through and sit down and encode the message, and then they're going to choose the channel. They're going to pick up their cell phone and text it. They're going to pick it up and go on Slack. They're going to pick it up and go on email. They're going to pick it up. They may actually go somewhere and talk to somebody face to face. Whoa, what an idea. That's really novel nowadays, isn't it? Okay, so they choose the aspect. They might even tweet it. And by the way, so then the receiver gets this message. And now they're saying, oh, we need to decode the message. And they decode the message. And then based upon that, they get feedback back to the sender. So it's communication, there's information, meaning to receiver. The receiver has the idea. Sometimes they get sidetracked. So let's look at this a little bit deeper. The sender has an idea. They begin with that idea, and they have complex factors, mood, frame of reference, background, culture, their whole aspect of it. They shape it, they encode it, and there's a problem. Sometimes different meanings are attached to different words from different people. So that happens. It's a big problem. I've had a couple of examples where we went through, and what does often mean? I mean, you do a sample thing, and you'll have, in the room of 10 people, you'll have 7 different ideas what often means. What does that mean? So some of the simple words we use, sometimes they're not concrete. And then the channel. It depends what channel as to how people receive it. If you're on Instagram, you better have everything less than 30 seconds or everybody's off. If you're on Twitter, there better be 7 seconds to cover it or less, preferably less. If you're on short YouTube, okay, you might sit down there and have those things and boom, boom, boom. You got 30 seconds to get your message across or you're doomed. So pay attention to that because the person is decoding and deciding what they're going to decode because we're bombarded by so many different aspects of it. Communication, steps and channels, you got the communication climate, you got the context and the setting as to how you're communicating, you got that person's background experience and yours, you have to connect somehow, and there's mood and the knowledge, you have values, beliefs, culture, and then also the person's going to have all kinds of feedback, making certain the verbal and nonverbal responses are to the receiver. So these are strong basics of building good communication, planning, and expect someone to have communication from a business pro like you. So pay attention to the 5 steps because they're always there, and make certain you know your audience, make certain you know what you want to say as clearly and articulate as possible. Take care.